Yo, what is good, YouTube? This First Listen back with another music review for the Beatles, Please Please Me. And this is the Beatles' first album from 1963. When I heard that this album's from 1963, speechless, didn't know what to say. This is the oldest music that I've ever listened to fully, and this is impressive. You don't get that from everybody. Let's be honest here. That don't come around all the time. I just feel grateful to even be here and be able to listen to it. This album released on March 22nd, 1963. That's kind of crazy because it's like I almost could have listened to this on that day or something. Like that would have been genius, but I didn't think to do that. But I really want to get into how I perceive this album, and I want to describe this sound and how this album made me feel. So let's get into it. So the way that I can try to describe this, and bear with me, is I felt like listening to this album as a whole and just taking in that this is not normal for me to listen to, right? I'm not used to listening to this type of sound, and this is very different for me. It's very old. I'm super young, so it's just not my thing that I listen to daily. But what I can tell you guys is that listening to this album, it really encapsulated what music was like in the 60s. Like, as I'm listening to this, I'm like catching myself in this. It's like I have to put myself in that time. You know what I'm saying? It's like I have to like reincarnate into a body to be able to just enjoy that, and because it really takes you to that time of like how things was and how they were making the music, what it looked like. The vintage grit and sound had a little dust on it, but it's like good and the stereo, and that was like a huge thing here too. Listening to this album out loud like I did on my reaction really enhanced my experience. I love the fact that you have instruments on one side, very clean and pristine and mixed, amazing, and then you have the lyrics over here and vocals split, but still such a full and rich sound. Like I really enjoyed that, and I feel like that just gave me the experience. Like I'm just in here grooving and vibing, feeling like I'm from that time. And it's like one of the things where you get up and you're dancing. It's like I always wanted to know what that looked like in real life. You see it on TV, you see it on movies, but it's different when you live in it. So the only thing I could do was fantasize about being in the 60s, and that's what it gave me, and that really enhanced my experience. But all in all, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was very impressed. The music is older, and I love old music, but going back to 63, it's a tricky one, okay? Like that's not something everybody can do and like it. The Beatles are very talented. Like, and it's just kind of crazy like how I had this perception on them before, like I just knew the name. The name was so strong. The Beatles. You think about Abbey Road, you know what I'm saying? You just think about these guys, mustache, suits on, clean, But when you hear the music with the face and the name, just goes crazy. I'm impressed. You got me. They got the seasoning, y'all. They got the seasoning. And now I would like to get into some of the songs that I enjoyed on this album. Misery, Anna, Go to Him, Boys, Ask Me Why, Please Please Me, Love Me Do, Baby It's You, Do You Want to Know a Secret, There's a Place, and Twist and Shout. I feel like everything on here had its own place, but they all kind of shared this very lovey at times, heartbreak at times, but very positive. Like it kept that vibe. There was nothing on here that was sad to the point where it was like, I'm just chilling, man, I'm in love. It was just like it just encapsulated all of the vibes that it needed to do, but still kept it very consistent to like what the sound was. And it's hard for me to kind of get words to describe that sound without calling it old or jazzy, or I think some people said like Motown or something like that, but it's obviously rock and roll, and there were so many elements that kind of remind me of like resort-ish things. I can't really describe it, but I just know that it's a timeless sound, but it's also a sound within a time. Now, I can't say that I would listen to every single song back to back all the time. Like, we ain't going that far, okay? There were songs on here that I can see myself listening to, and I think that's very important. Long as you have a good experience, that's the best thing, because it could have been a couple of songs on here that I said were great, and then that's it. But as an album and everything that they did to add to it, vocals, stacks, mixing, instrumentation, just all of these things that really brung it together to give you like this grand experience of like, this is the Beatles, and this is the Beatles start. So me knowing what Abbey Road sounds like and seeing where they came from here, as I said in my reaction, you can tell the difference here. It's like night and day almost. Like it is night and day, to be honest. So I want to talk about maybe like 2 or 3 of some of my favorite songs on here that I want to pull from the list that I actually put out. I ain't gonna get to all of them, but I want to talk about a few of them. So I want to talk about this song Misery. Misery was very, very catchy, and I love like the repetition of how they brung up misery and how they said it. Like, I really, really vibe with that track. And it was like this piano in there where it kind of like went down. Like, I can't describe it because I'm not that inclined into like the instruments, like that. But it was very pleasing to the ear, and just how they did that was just very interesting. And just making misery just like get stuck in your head, and how they just added to the vocals. It was just a great experience to listen to for that track. I really like how catchy it was. It was very catchy, and it got you. And that's one thing about the Beatles. Like, certain songs, they gonna get you. They gonna catch you. They gonna get you. They don't reel you in. So I really like that track. And then we have Love Me Do. Love Me Do was very like, that was the one that caught me off. This is the one where I'm like, yo, this has to be the breakout, the single. It has to be like the one that's either in the commercial or the movie. Like this got to be the one. I even feel like I heard this before, but I'm not sure, but it was the one that I know that probably a lot of people probably know this song. It's just what it is. Even though I ain't never heard it, I don't think that I heard it. It is very, very catchy and very groovy. And like, I think it was the harmonica. I'm not sure. I think it is the harmonica that was in there, and it was just really being center of attention. It really had its own verse. It had its own thing to add to the track, compared to what the Beatles was doing. I just love how they have moments in the instruments that they want to make stand out and make a statement with, the same way they do like the vocals. And what I really enjoyed as well from there was like how they elongated notes. And a few times in the album, they have played with the la la la, da da da, sha la la la. They did a lot of that, and I feel like that's what also pushed me seeing it and hearing that from like, this has got to be what the 60s sound like. Like they had to have dominated that sound. If I had to like, if that's how I'm like experiencing it, you get what I'm saying? Yeah, no. It also felt like you're like in the bar, and like you just gotta get up, dance with your partner or whomever. It had these type of vibes to it. It's not this. It had to be so different nowadays. Like, it had to be so different around that time when music was. Everybody. I feel like everybody was dancing. It's just no way. It was no trying to be cool, hanging out. Maybe a few times for some people, but it just made me want to get out of my seat. You know what I'm saying? In my head, I'm like, it's like I will get out of my seat and go dance with that girl that I want to know, or my partner or whomever. It really got those bar vibes to it. I can see them on a stage while you know, have a little drink or whatever, and you see them up there performing this thing, and it's just like, you know, I just think it's so different from the world that I come from to being able to enjoy these other vibes. And then we have Twist and Shout. Twist and Shout had the absolute most energy. This is the rock and roll mix with a lot of the, you know, those type of still the same elements there. The softy sound, but it was like, yo, they was really adding vocals. I remember at one point it was like they were like going up, going up, going up. Like that was so dope. Like the energy was there, the passion, the emotion, everything was there. It was like the ironically does stand out for that, but it wasn't my standout per se because I already picked mine. But it stood out in that regard of like having the most energy and emotion literally in his voice. And I really vibe with that because it that was the one where it's like they was the first one to make their own dance. You know what I'm saying? You know how like Soulja Boy got like to crank that. You know what I'm saying? They talking about Twist and Shout. Ha! 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 The ad libs here as well really allowed you to sing along with the song. So when they said that, you knew you could say it back. And I love those songs that make you kind of feel like you are a part of the track. You can join in if you would like to. A lot of songs you might hear and you don't know where it's going. It's kind of hard to remember the lyrics or where it's going. And a lot of times they will guide you and say, what you want to do? All the shit. You know, it has these things like if they're saying something, you're saying it back. And I really enjoy those tracks because it makes me feel like I'm supposed to join in with the artist. And I think they did that very well. The real and huge standout from enjoying and listening to this album was how they stacked vocals and how they used them, you know, and how they were saying it. You know, I oftentimes forget that this is a group doing this together, you know? I don't even think about specifically who's doing what. It's just I hear the voice, I hear the music, I hear the vibe and the collaboration, and it's just like it's almost like they're just formed into one person, you know? That's how well I feel like they have captured working together and on this album. I mean, it was really solid of a listen, and I absolutely enjoyed that experience, and like I said, especially hearing this through speakers. And now I want to tell you guys about my standout track here. Ask Me Why was a song that I said this is being added to my playlist. This is a song that I'm going to come back to and I'm going to listen to more than I would around a lot of the songs that are here. Like I said, it's not like my time frame or whatever, but this one in particular is a vibe that I'm adding to the playlist. This is my joint. And the reason why I like it because it is so different. Like the way it sounds, it has this like other country like instrumentation to it, but it's like minimum. It's like minimal sound to it, like not as much drums going on. It's just really just more so vibe and the way that it got to those points and it made you feel it. And it's just certain, like I said, it's just certain things like, you know, that's my track, that's my song, that's my vibe, that's me, and that was me. The chorus was really catchy. It's just candy to my ears. That's the best way I could describe it. It was just candy to my ears. And as far as anything that I didn't enjoy, there were only maybe like 2 tracks that were kind of like, okay, these are cool, kind of feel like interludes or kind of just songs that's just there to kind of like flow the album together. But there was nothing that was just like, I just don't like this, and you know, not like that. Like everything, like I say, I have my favorites and things that I enjoy on the bigger scale of things. But this album is crazy. 5 out of 5 woos. I tell you right now, I tell you no lies. This album was a great listen, solid listen. I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I was able to listen to it in this intended way that I believe that they wanted people to listen to it through stereo, you know, through having speakers and being able to take in this wide open sound to really give you that experience, you know, because With the headphones, I just couldn't do it. It was unbearable. It was just way too much split space, way too much of just this and just that. Couldn't take it. Glad that I was able to experience it this way. But that's all I have to say for the Beatles. Please, please me. This album was very solid. Like I said, 5 out of 5 woos. I encourage you guys, if you haven't, check it out. I want to say thank you to everybody who recommended me to listen to this album. You got me. Until next time, until the next video, I forgot new camera, but I can't touch it because I got this mic right here, so I'm gonna just let it cut out.